Hey, yo, what's the deal? That's your boy Tag from Pro Wrestling Tag, you know what I mean? As of this recording, it is 1:11 p.m., January 26, 2025. You know what I'm saying? This is the first video of the day, you know what I mean? And I'm just going to get on into it, you know what I mean? Because, you know, I got a lot of shit I'm gonna say. Before I even do that, let me give a big ass shout out to Mercedes Monet. Today's her birthday. You know what I mean? Probably one of the sexiest fucking females in the entire industry. You know what I mean? I'm not a fan of her, I'm not a fan of her inward work and such, but I can't lie. Like, the girl is beyond fucking gorgeous. I'm sorry. It's just like I put in that fucking short. CEO! CEO! But anyway, so there's gonna be a two-in-one video, right? That I'm gonna do. And I'm also cooking at the same time. So Evil from New Japan Pro Wrestling, right, announced his departure last night. He announced his departure from New Japan Pro Wrestling last night, and is more than likely on his way to WWE, right, where he could realistically enter in the Royal Rumble. And I'm expecting him to enter in the Royal Rumble. Like I said, this Royal Rumble might be something crazy because, we got Powerhouse Hobbs, motherfucker, coming in, right? We got, Evil coming in. You know what I mean? Obafemi, he's going to enter the Royal Rumble. And then more than likely, Chris Jericho's going to come in there, right? So, Evil, has no interest in going to AEW. As a matter of fact, he hates Tony Khan. He hates that motherfucker with a passion. You know what I mean? Like, he hates that dude with a lot of validity, right? And, my thing is this. I think this is a great move for WWE. Why? Because, this shows that, AEW, AEW is not the place to be, yo. It's not. It's fucking not. AEW has not been the place to be in how many fucking years, man? You know what I mean? Like, they have not been the talk of the town in long mayuts. Bumbaras clot boy. Now, they have not been, the talk of the town in that long to a point where, nobody gives a fuck about AEW. Nobody cares about AEW at this point. Like, who really gives a fuck? You know what I'm saying? It's just like what I mentioned yesterday in the video I put out last night about how, either WWE or 2K is running the Attitude Era stale. It's stale. You know what I mean? It's fucking stale. I mean, it's really fucking stale. Like, all right, it happened. It came and went. The Attitude Era came and went, right? So it's either 2K that's raping it or it's WWE. But the thing is, with Evil, the reason why this is, this is a significant signing is because, there's a guy who's been in New Japan Pro Wrestling for a long time, right? And now, he's making his way onto the States. And now, he's getting an opportunity to, and he's not going to be a game changer or none of that, but this guy's a staple of New Japan Pro Wrestling now coming into WWE, right? And yes, I understand, he's romantically involved with Io Sky, right? I don't know if that's his wife or whatnot, but still, this also shows that AEW is not, when it comes down to attraction, it's not the place at this point. It's no longer the place. You know what I mean? Like that, that ship is sailed for AEW as the place to be. It's sailed. It fucking sailed. I mean, I'm hearing that, they're talking about getting Tommaso Ciampa, right? But what are you really going to do with Tommaso Ciampa, huh? What are you really going to do? You're not going to do anything with Tommaso Ciampa in AEW. You're not. What you're going to do is more than likely, you're going to put this motherfucker in the Don Callis family. Just with all the rest of the bald-headed, bearded guys in there, right? It's a joke. It's a joke. You know? It's a fucking joke. So Evil going in there, it gives WWE another hand. You know, now I don't know if he's going to be at NXT. I don't know. But the fact that it just comes just in time with, as you know, with the Royal Rumble, then yeah, one can definitely see him making it, you know, his debut and such. You know, I would expect him to be in the Royal Rumble. I have a feeling he might be in the Royal Rumble. You know, I think WWE is going to, you know, really create stuff from the Royal Rumble onto WrestleMania. You know? So, the other thing I want to talk about is this motherfucker Dave Meltzer. Oh, man. You know, he's still taking shots at TNA. You know, he's taking shots at the WWE relationship, right? And there was a person who, you know, he put out a post. Some guy named Yellowbone or the Yellowbone. Could be a female, could be a guy, I don't know. Person puts out a tweet saying TNA was the number 2 promotion from 2002 to 2019, right? This nigga Meltzer talks about ROH and New Japan both surpassed them at points. And you know, New Japan Pro Wrestling did the minute they ran the first longest, and New Japan Pro Wrestling did the minute they ran the first Long Beach show. Nobody gives a fuck about Long Beach, California. Not like that. Shout out to all my people in California. You know what I mean? The West Coast. West Side? But is Meltzer stupid? Is Meltzer this fucking dumb? You know, ROH and New Japan both surpassed them at points. Let me see. Okay? Where the fuck was Ring of Honor on television? Besides syndication, huh? Where the fuck were they? Where were they? Huh? Where were they? The only time that these motherfuckers was actually on TV, you know, on syndication was on any Sinclair broadcasting channel, right? All across the 50 states. Here in New York, they never gave Ring. Do you want to know the first time that they actually gave Ring of Honor here in the New York City area? It was when Ring of Honor went to Destination America. Remember when Destination America had remember when they had TNA and ROH at the same time? Remember that? That was the first time that, my bad. When they was on HD Net. Yeah, when they was on HD Net, okay? When they was on HD Net. Remember HD Net? Remember that? You know, but after that, you couldn't even find them. You couldn't even find Ring of Honor, right? These motherfuckers was nowhere to be found. Nowhere in New York City, in New York City television. Especially, you know, on channels that you would think would be on there. Like MSG, right? Like fucking, you know, the Yes Network never showed wrestling, but it was always either MSG or it was Fox Sports. It wasn't even shown on there, period. You know, they should have. It should have, because it would have been perfect for the channel, right? But Ring of Honor was a far, far, far number 3 away from TNA. You know, they were sort of close against TNA when WWE started to, you know, get some of their talent and they started signing some of their talent, right? But, you know, other than that, Ring of Honor was never a strong number 2. Hell no. Absolutely not. Absolutely fucking not. You know, they were never on any major network platforms, or they didn't even have a fucking video game. So you mean to tell me, and don't even get me started with New Japan Pro Wrestling. New Japan Pro Wrestling, again, same thing like Ring of Honor. Where the fuck were they on New York City? I mean, in, United States major television. Where the fuck were they? Where were they? Where were they? They were nowhere. You want to know what kept Ring of Honor going and what kept New Japan going? The fucking internet. That's what kept both of them going. You know what I'm saying? Because if nobody even spoke about them in the internet, right? And the DVDs, right? That's what kept these motherfuckers going. Other than that, right? You wouldn't even hear a peep from these motherfuckers. So, they surpassed them at points. They surpassed TNA at points. Where? Huh? Where? I want to know where. Where the fuck did they surpass TNA at points from 2002 to 2019? Where? The first Long Beach show. Okay, here's the other thing too. Okay, Dave? Meltzer. All right? If that happened, right? If they did, right? Why nobody has, an invested interest in New Japan Pro Wrestling here in the States now? Huh? Who? Why they don't have a invested interest? Why? Because, good old Tony Khan came and fucked up the energy for New Japan Pro Wrestling by stealing talent away and such and giving New Japan Pro Wrestling scraps? That's what it is? Come on, man. Like, who the fuck you fooling, Dave? Who you fooling, nigga? Fuck you fooling, B? Like, come on, man. This is a joke. It's a joke from this dude, man. But you know what? He has his narratives. Oh, shit, the thing is bubbling. Dave Meltzer has his narratives, right? He's going to say whatever the fuck he wants to say. Why? Because people like him, people like Sean Ross Sapp, that faggot motherfucker John Alba, you know what I mean? They're all getting paid, to slap the knob of Tony Khan, B. That's what they're doing, B. Come on, B. Like, yeah, B. Like, Tony Khan. Like, Tony Khan, you know what I'm saying, B? I mean, come on, man. It's a joke, bro. It's a joke with these fucking wrestling journalists, man. It's a joke. It's a joke. Anyway, guys, I'm about to be out. I will be coming with another video tonight, depending on what happens. I'm about to go finish some cooking. I'm out at y'all. Peace.